Okay, we are recording. Good evening. Today is every evening. Check out the lighting. Yes, terrible lighting. Okay, so I'm going to go over sort of the integration of the gravity and how that plays into Shirley's surface, which is what I suggest as our manifold, this minimal Klein surface. So first, we're going to try it this way using fancy, oops, go away. No. Okay, there we go. So check it out. So here is sort of our gravity, a representation of gravity or mass or energy density from minimal. Here we'll call this minimal. If you see it as space, that's very easy. So this is like empty space where it's as big and spacious as possible. And then slowly over time as gravity, and this could also be measured as sort of like a gravity skin, it gets stronger and stronger until, notice here you are the tangent, you are tangential right at that point. But there is a slight curve, gravity. And so boop, 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 you get less and less until at this point, when you are at an event horizon, when you are at maximal, you are exactly 90 degrees to where you used to be. Exactly 90 degrees where you used to be. In my model, you'd shoot down this and you explode there as a neutron, you fall down, gravity. If we marked this as lambda, we could say, I mean, there's various ways of looking at this. Let's say that that's how big. This is 1 cubic meter. Let's call this, not there, actually. And input one more thing. I'm going to input the infinitesimal. It keeps it all together. There we go. Okay. Put this in for kids. The kids don't listen, I just swore. So go back in time. Anyways, there we go. So you come through, you become this Planck. This is like the Planck, that's the core of all Plancks. This is a little ball of light that has every single state possible on it. Okay, you touch that and then you emerge. There, this section here, you would be 1 cubic meter. You're 1 neutron and you're taking up 1 cubic meter because you just decayed. Oh, you're a piece of hydrogen, I mean. You're an atom of hydrogen and you take up 1 cubic meter. Over time, you get compressed by gravity until you take up a neutron amount of space. Not only that, a really, really compressed neutron that is just about to touch its buddy, and as soon as it touches its buddy, it becomes Planck energy. It moves to the lowest energy place possible, so because it's the easiest to penetrate, emerges here, and then you're in deepest space again, falling. So this would be in like an energy curve. If this was energy in space, just energy in space, then this would be very low energy density. And over here would be such a high energy density, notice, that you are 90 degrees to your direction of propagation. You have, notice this curve, swirl, zoop, 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 zoop. You would end up having total internal reflection here. This is how you create mass, is by having so much energy that you get total internal reflection. Then you have a piece of mass that develops a charge around it. Didn't have a charge, but it doesn't want to stay that way, so it makes a charge flow, which is a flow from the electron into the proton or the positron into the antiproton in the antimatter world. And then you get compressed. And then this is the very highest density of matter, right there, where all the neutrons are just about to touch. There we go. Okay, so that's sort of the overview of how that would play out. This is just gravity. This is a Ricci flow or Ricci curve or whatever of the universe. Going gathering everything together to this node. And now we are going to input there we go. And let's take off the green. Okay. And now we have I call Shirley's surface, this minimal Klein bottle. And you say Klein bottle just looks like a donut. But notice, if this, and I can cut it in half in a second if you need to view it better. This top surface goes into this node, which is the same node, the 0 point, where the highest gravity is. But then what happens is that was the outside surface slips through here and becomes the inside surface, becomes the other surface, the antimatter surface. And then it becomes, then it's the antimatter surface for a whole rotation. This is why electron half spin. And then when you come out, now you're on the outside again. And then you're on the inside. And then you're on the outside. These are how these two things fit. This is highest energy density on the top half of this. And I really wonder, actually, if I did some actual inputting of limits on this. So let's say that bottom section would have been 1 hydrogen atom per cubic meter, the lowest density. And as we go around, it's getting more and more dense. I just have a hunch that right about there is maybe where it becomes dense enough that it's sort of like visible, and then around here is going to be probably where you're going to have planets and stuff like that. Who knows? It would be very interesting to map that all and actually get, okay, if that's the minimal and that's 1 atom per cubic meter, and this is the maximal, and it's 10 to the 47th per, I can't remember, I think it's cubic centimeter. Oop. You could plot all the different elements along this curve someplace. You could plot, you know, the density of anything would be represented someplace on this curve, because this is maximal, minimal to maximal. It's a full range of densities, basically, could be plotted someplace on this curve. Okay, and that's how Shirley's surface interfaces with it, because there you go. That node right there, represented by the white dot, this white ball, is the infinitesimal, sort of the neutron itself, where it's a double layer. It is both this surface and this surface. Is where these two surfaces basically intersect. It's the node of all possible energies. It's the double layer of photon, of mass photons. Protons have 1 plus the charge process, but the neutrons have the charge process reintegrated. The electron gets stuffed down the proton's throat, and now it's a neutron. There's one other thing. Oh yeah, there's a cute artifact that I found of this that was totally accidental, but was cool, and I am going to show, as if anybody cares. Anyways, let's get rid of Shirley's surface for a second, or maybe not. Did I make the K? Oh yeah. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to animate this for a second. So that cardioid is actually a double layer in itself, because it's a curve and it's not actually a surface. Okay, and this just this is like a slow inversion process. Notice if you go back, and I did that video, if not theory, then this would be the shape. It's actually, I thought it was a figure eight, but it's not a figure eight. It's like a weirdly twisted the tri-knot. But there, where it's sort of like in the knot thing, this would be matter. And then it goes through this, and then this loop is the antimatter loop. And then, and this is the event horizon where things get double inverted. This is like the double layer of the neutron. Matter, antimatter, matter, antimatter. That's the way it goes.